Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
My name is Josh Chomik.
And I'm Jimmy Parks.
Welcome back, everyone.
We're here.
We're out here.
We've made it back, and it's another day. We are recording this one at 6:49 a.m.
I love it.
The early bird special.
The early bird gets the worm, and I'm out
right.
here hunting for worms.
That's right. I like to be recording early because our listeners are on the road early. A lot of these people are driving to work.
So yeah, we want to relate with them.
Yeah, we can relate. I know the feeling right now.
The grind.
Shout out to the listeners who listen at 5 a.m. when the podcast just comes out.
Yeah. Are there people that do that, you think?
I know my dad does.
Yeah. Shout out to your
Shout
dad.
out
Oh
to Dad.
yeah, shout out to Papa Chom.
Awesome.
Very loyal listener.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are once again recording live. Is it technically live if it's a podcast? How does that work?
We're live in the moment.
Yeah, like I'm living right now.
Exactly. So it's live right now. Maybe
Okay.
it's not going to be live for when the people are listening, but it's live now.
But I am a studio audience, so it is live for me.
Oh, for Jimmy, it's live.
Jimmy, but you're on camera, so you're not on, like, technically studio audience.
I don't know. I got the whole studio in my view, though.
I can't see your face today. What did you do differently?
So
Move the screen.
No, but I moved the screen so I could get the timestamps better. Last week I got yelled at for my timestamps.
That's true. They were awful.
So.
All right.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We are recording live from Elizabeth, New Jersey in our studio here at the Vintage City offices. If you'd like to find an office space, let's say you own, make up a business, Josh. You own a
pickleball company.
a pickleball company. You're a startup and you're looking for a cool office space. You can go to vintagecityoffices.com/Garden State, and there's a little referral form. We could fill that out and just say, these boys sent me over here, but we're very pleased with our studio. I was thinking on the way in this morning, it's going to be weird when it gets to wintertime and we're showing up and it's dark out.
At least there'll be snow on the ground, though.
But I think we need a Christmas tree in here.
We're going to get a Christmas tree. Duh.
I'm going to have to tell our friend Sal to get some Christmas decorations all over this place.
Oh, we're
I was
go
going to
nuts with
say,
it.
what if we just made our whole back wall all Christmas lights? Lots of colors.
I love it. Just hang them straight down like strings.
Yeah. Yep.
Jimmy, that's why you're here.
I know.
Can you
That's
see
why
his
we
face?
pay you $300,000 a year. What's that, Josh?
Can you see Jimmy's face?
Yeah, I'm
half of
looking
it?
right
He
at
looks like Phantom of the Opera
So
right now.
lucky. I just see his chest. It's such a mystery to me this week.
He's like the Wizard of Oz over there.
Oh, speaking of Christmas,
Yeah.
Farmer's Almanac. They're saying we might go to Snowy Christmas.
I don't trust it.
That's witchcraft, bro.
I know. But hey, last year it wasn't so great. We only got like an inch of snow, so I think it's looking up this year.
Isn't the Farmer's Almanac just based on nothing?
No, it's a bunch of farmers coming together big.
I
It's going to
don't-
snow this winter because they know the weather better than anyone else.
the farmers.
Is that really what it is?
It's actually the old Farmer's Almanac.
I thought they write it for farmers.
That's what I thought.
I thought
too.
farmers were the ones conducting the
No, I
experiment.
thought it's let's see.
Founded in 1818, the Farmer's Almanac is a mixed blend of long-range weather predictions, humor, fun facts, and advice on gardening, cooking, fishing,
Humor?
and conversation. Yeah.
the heck are you
Wait,
reading?
but who produces it? Does it say? I don't think it's farmers. I think it's for farmers.
We are farmers.
It's produced by someone in Maine.
Okay, so there you go. It's some one-off. See, people like Josh are thinking farmers are writing this stuff.
I'm pretty sure they are. You guys have no idea.
Wait,
Jimmy
so-
just Googled like a Wikipedia article. I don't know.
So wait, Josh. So it's saying that we're gonna get a white Christmas. Nonetheless.
Oh, well, they said, it's going to be a little more snowy this winter, so I can't, guarantee it's going to be on Christmas, but hopefully we get one of those October blizzards. That'd be sick.
I hope we get a snowy winter. I feel like every year we've had this conversation 3 years in a row now. Where we're
On the
like,
pod.
yeah, where we're like,
We haven't had a good one yet.
are we gonna get a snowy winter? I wouldn't mind it now that the summer's coming to a close. I want to enjoy September and October, and then I'm ready for snow.
The summer is coming to a close, but this is the hottest week yet. It's going to be 96 today.
Crazy.
Do you remember early on our TikTok days, Josh Chomik went out storm hunting during a snowstorm, and then we got a copyright strike or something? Or a danger strike.
A danger strike.
On our
TikTok removed my storm chasing video, which I was most proud of. I went down to
Atlantic City, right?
Island Beach State Park. No, I went
Best
Long
Forest
Beach
State
Island.
Forest.
Somewhere down there. I don't know, but I went storm chasing. It was a crazy blizzard. I was filming out my window, doing crazy things. I was the only one on the road. Then TikTok took it down Because they said it was due to dangerous activity.
It is dangerous.
I just want to be like Jim Cantori. I want to go out there in the storm in the thick of it. Someone's got to report the news.
Josh, you're no Jim Cantori.
I could be though. Yeah, I'm Josh Chomick. I'm not Jim Cantori. I'm my own person.
That's a good point. So before we get into all that we have planned for today, we have kind of a random request for you, the listeners driving in your car right now. We want to encourage you to pull out your phone while you're driving. So we want this to get very dangerous. No, actually, don't do that.
Kidding, don't do it.
We created
Dangerous.
a Google form.
Yeah.
And it's just a really short questionnaire. And the goal of it is we want to know what people like about the podcast, and we want to know what you don't like about the podcast. Is it going to change anything? I don't know, but it'll take you literally 47 seconds. If you're slow, maybe like 53 seconds. But it's a short Google form. Click the link in the podcast description.
First link.
The first link. Thank you. And fill it out. Just give us a bit of information because we are trying to, let's just say, trying to get better, get better.
Yeah. And we've never done this before. And like we read comments here and there, but we want to get like the hardcore fans of the pod, the listeners, the people who listen every single week. We want to hear from you. It's simple. It's like 10, 12 questions on there. Very simple. Check it out.
Maybe even less than that. Because here's the thing. It's like questions like, do you like the mailbag? Do you hate the mailbag?
Is Jimmy Parks
a robot?
A robot. Well, you thought he was an alien.
For many years, I did. So you can go in the description of the podcast, click on that link, and help us out, help make the podcast a better place for the next generation. How's that sound?
The next generation.
It's for the kids.
It's for the
At
children.
the end of the day, it's for the kids.
Yes.
When we pass off this podcast to June and her friends one day.
Yeah, she's gonna take it. So, hey guys, what'd you do this weekend?
It was Labor Day weekend.
Did you labor at all?
I labored on the golf course. Woo!
Wait,
That was awesome, bro.
I did that by accident.
That was amazing timing.
What
dude.
is that called?
It's just a quick little drum fill. Drum roll. I don't know. Drum
rim
fill.
shot.
Rim shot.
That was an accidental rim shot, bro.
That was great.
That was excellent.
Yeah. We labored, bro.
I meant to.
Did you-
I meant to click.
Tell him to bring out my putter.
Amen,
That was
brother.
what I was trying to click for us there.
How was everyone's labor? Did you go into labor this weekend?
No, I didn't. I sat by a pool.
Oh, nice.
I know they call it Labor Day, but everyone's out here at the beach chilling, not doing any labor. What's up with that?
It's to celebrate the unions, the laborers.
Yep.
I celebrate by laboring.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're a member of a union, Josh.
Jimmy, if I had the opportunity to join a union, maybe I would be.
But
out here, I'm not getting any invites. Okay?
it's all on you.
So
It was a good weekend.
I just sat by a pool. I didn't do a whole lot, and
Sound like the rest of the state, going to the beach and relaxing.
I had family that went to see Bruce.
Nice.
Bruce!
They went to the MetLife Stadium, and
I can't believe you didn't go with them.
I saw a scathing review of night one of Bruce.
This is really ticks
Did you
me
hear about
off.
this?
I did.
Why? So for the listeners, I heard that the first night Bruce went on, he did somewhat of a terrible job. People were saying it was not a good show.
No. All right. We need to talk about this.
I haven't heard
All right,
anything
so
about
what-
this, guys.
what-
Inform me.
I'm not biased one way or the other, Jimmy, but that's just what I read. Why did that upset you? What did you hear?
Okay. I have a few different points to bring up
Here
here.
we go.
For one, to my understanding, this tour was meant to celebrate the life of one of Bruce Springsteen's original band members who died or something. Mm-hmm. And they were playing songs that kind of reflected that time. I'm not a big Bruce Springsteen fan,
Whoa!
but that's what I've been told. Also,
Unclean.
Hot take.
But the thing that bothers me, right? Josh and I both work in music, kind of with live bands and stuff. And one, Bruce Springsteen's getting older. You can't expect him to play for 5 hours anymore and just bring out any song in the world. Also, his band is 29 people. Getting that many people to know any song in his catalog is kind of unrealistic. And then, not for nothing, the production that goes along with it, the stage lighting and all that, has to be somewhat preset. So
So wait, what actually happened then first night? It
he
wasn't
just
good?
played 3 hours of a conventional set list. He didn't just go off the cuff and start playing a song that hasn't played in 25 years. And
What do you expect? He's
Exactly,
gonna do his
that's what
normal
I'm
set list.
saying.
What, people are complaining about that?
yes,
So
People are getting too greedy.
No, I don't know that that's the actual critique because I'm not saying Jimmy's wrong, but what I read was people were saying it fell flat. Here it is. Springsteen MetLife Stadium concert review. Cookie cutter thrills. NJ fans deserve better. So
so stupid.
So this is NJ.com, which they're kind of fake news. Like, they're not the Garden State. So I'm not even going to read the page. Plus, they have a massive paywall in front of it. So we're not going to get into that. But I will say,
Did your family enjoy it? Like, what was their
the
take?
people that I know that went had an awesome time. It was my in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, and my sister-in-law. They said it was awesome. Here's the thing. First off, if you like good music, you're not going to a Bruce Springsteen concert. Let's just start that. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I mean, look,
listen,
I like Born to Run. I like Hey Little Girl. Did I tell you guys about that bit? That comedian's bit?
No.
Hey Little Girl, is your daddy home?
No.
Really funny. Comedian making fun of the fact that, like, what was going on in the studio that day that, like, nobody stopped him to be like, Bruce.
Oh, yeah, you did share this last time we talked about Bruce.
Really funny. But, yeah, so to me, it's like, I think Bruce is great for the hits. I don't...
Listen,
I'm not going to say that.
3 hours, Jimmy. Like, I feel like 3 hours is long.
Oh, I know
But people
it is.
want a 5-hour Bruce set?
Yeah, back when Springsteen was playing MetLife a few years ago, he was doing like these crazy 5-hour sets.
Yeah, no. What are you doing for 5 hours? Like, no shot.
So I've been to shows that are 3 hours long at bands that I really like my favorite bands in the world. And by 2 hours, 30 minutes, you're starting to think all right, let's start wrapping this up.
Wait, so what bands have you seen do sets that long? Just
Green
curious.
Day.
Really? Green
Yep.
Day did a 5-hour set?
No, I saw them play 3 hours once.
Okay, so I think you're right. I think the perfect show for a band you really like is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Jerry Seinfeld he had an interesting thing about this. I forget the context of what he was saying it within, but his point was about his show Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Literally about Seinfeld. He's like, we stopped it and people want us to keep going. And he's like, too much of any good thing makes it go bad.
Yeah.
Like, too much ice cream makes you feel sick in your stomach. And he's like, you got to know when to stop. And I think when an artist goes on stage and they do 5 hours, people leave the show not going, that was the best thing of my life. They leave it going, I don't think I need to see him again for a long time. Like, you want to leave people wanting more. And Bruce, the people I know that went were like, it was awesome. He played from 7:15 to 10:40.
Yeah.
So he did a 3-hour plus set. And I think that's capacity, though. I think you can't go from 5 to 10
no
p.m.
more.
I mean,
more.
you're looking at some of these other bands right now. They're doing these catalog spanning tours, like Taylor Swift,
I was just looking.
Jonas Brothers. But you look at their set lists, and they're 45 songs long, and that's kind of daunting.
Well, Taylor Swift, her set in LA at SoFi Stadium was 3 hours and 25 minutes, 8:20 to 11:45. But someone like Taylor Swift, from what I've seen in videos, it seems like she's doing a really diverse sort of entertaining set where she's changing outfits. There's light. Like, Bruce is just a dude with a denim jacket and a guitar, man. You're getting it right there. Same thing with the Jonas Brothers. I know someone that went to the Yankee Stadium show and they were like, it was honestly insane. They did they had a choir, they do all this stuff. And I think Bruce, 3 hours sounds like a good show. I think people are just rotten.
Yeah.
People are spoiled rotten.
So, yes, I agree with you there. And there's one more thing I have to say about this. I don't trust any MJ.com concert reviews.
What did they do wrong to you?
Jimmy?
Just anyone that I've ever read, they are always critiquing way too much. They're not just enjoying the show.
Yeah, just go and enjoy the show. Shut up.
Well, people want to have an opinion. They want to have a take. And we're gonna get blacklisted from something.
Well, and also, I want to see these concert reviewers actually perform, right?
Play music?
Yeah.
Well, the guy that wrote this one is Bobby Oliver.
Yeah, people have no idea what it takes, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you guys do a lot of...
Yeah, we're behind the scenes. We put on shows. We know what actually goes on, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
So he's a music writer and a food culture editor. So he maybe does play some music. Who knows? But here's what I will say is, if you're paying $400 to see Bruce Springsteen, it better be a good show.
Are people paying $400?
Well, that was that whole Ticketmaster fiasco.
I think tickets were between $200 and $500.
Do you know what your family paid per ticket?
They texted me and my wife and were like, "Hey, we have 2 extra tickets, $200 each." No, pass.
It's got to be someone. It's got to be someone I'm obsessed with to pay that much. But even that, I don't think I've ever paid that much for a concert in my life.
All right, confession. I'm not a fan, don't know any of the music, but based on the videos I saw, I probably would go see Taylor Swift.
Cool.
This is
You wouldn't go see her?
this is
If I got guest listed for free, I'd go.
Oh, whoa.
I'm not paying a ticket to see
So
Taylor
my
Swift.
wife is a huge fan. I said to her, I was like, on my TikTok, what were we saying to me?
oh, this is so funny compared to what you were saying a few months ago.
Taylor Swift is trash. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
No, I want to hear more about this.
Yeah, my guy is
Here's what I'll
totally
say. Here's
flipping
what
right
I'll
now.
say. Taylor Swift, awful lyricist, writes junky music. But production-wise, what I saw, I've learned, like I saw a Drake video. His concert production value-wise looked unbelievable. And I think that to me is what makes a show really fun.
Yeah.
Like Bruce, I like a lot of Bruce's songs, so I could sit there and listen to it. But even, okay, so I saw, they have to be songs I really enjoy. Like I saw John Mayer, I've seen him like 6 times. I really like him. Saw him during his like wannabe cowboy era in 2013 at PNC, and about 20 minutes in, I was like, what are we doing here? Like just play Gravity. Play. We want to hear, you know what we want to hear, John? Like stop doing this to us. Taylor Swift, to me, wouldn't know any of the songs, but I think 70,000 people in a football stadium with the production stuff I saw looked pretty sweet. I'll give her that. That looked pretty awesome. Otherwise, though, yeah, she's not a great lyricist.
Yeah, I'm not
music's
bashing
not
her
great.
show at all. Like I think it's awesome. The production looks amazing. It's just like I'm not going to pay at least $200 to go.
I wouldn't pay either. Okay, I get what you're saying. If I was on a
someone could
guest
hook it
list,
up, it'd be
yeah,
great.
if I had free tickets, I would absolutely go.
Totally enjoy that. And it's not like Taylor needs my money anyway.
She made $1.4 billion on her tour. So,
Yeah.
all right. What do you boys say we crack open the mailbag and move on? Since Josh doesn't have Taylor Swift tickets,
You don't either.
maybe one day, maybe she'll move to Jersey. She used to have a house in Jersey. Is that true?
Yeah, she's living in Avalon, or one of her houses was in Avalon.
Why Avalon?
It's a beautiful town. I think she lived on one of the houses that right on the sand dunes.
Nice.
If you want to call into the mailbag, the number is
908 67 99 99 3.
What up, boys? This is Raph from Kearney. Maybe a part 2 to the whole Bobcat mountain lion debate that happened a while back. Yesterday, getting onto the turnpike from that Kearney entrance on the little grass part where you make the turn to get onto the turnpike, I saw what I believe to be a wolf or a coyote or some type of big dog. But then I started thinking, are there wolves and like coyotes, or is there something else in this area? So instead of doing any research, I wanted to see if you guys know the answer. I'm assuming Jimmy Parks knows a lot about this. So yeah, let me know if that's what I saw, or I saw somebody's husky on the loose or something like that. Appreciate the podcast, boys.
Thank you, Raph.
if you're in Kearney, I'm gonna go with that's a stray dog.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know if it's a husky or a wolf. Yeah, I'm not gonna Google it. I'm gonna come right to
jeez.
Jimmy Parks. Jimmy, what are we seeing in Kearney today?
I'm gonna say it was a coyote or it was someone's dog.
I think stray dog.
In Kearney, yeah.
How could a coyote get through the Meadowlands? That's the real question. And then across,
Nah, don't we have mad
across
coyotes
the
around?
Hackensack River.
Well,
it would have to. If you look at a map, it would have to come down from Englewood. That's the only way, unless it crossed the bridge, which maybe, possibly, I guess.
The population of coyotes in New Jersey is estimated to be between 4,000 and 6,000.
I mean, is that a lot? And like, what part of Jersey are they mostly living in?
I would assume north.
Let's compare the number of coyotes to the number of gas stations.
What does that
And-
have to do with the answer to this question?
Because if you think about it,
Oh, just to get a reference.
to get a
Wow.
reference of how many, there's 2,300 gas stations.
Eastern coyotes first arrived in New Jersey as recently as 80 years ago, and they can now be found in almost every municipality across the state.
Okay.
Okay.
So that answers the question. A coyote.
I think he saw a coyote, but at the same time, what are the odds that Raph here saw a bobcat, Jimmy?
0. Bobcat, 100%. What was the other one? Mountain lion, 0.
Wait, so it could have been a bobcat in Kearney or no?
He said he saw a dog. He didn't see a cat.
Oh, okay, got it. But not a wolf.
No wolves.
Jimmy, what can you tell me about the Hackensack Meadowlands Conservation and Wildlife Area? Because here's where I'm going with this. That could potentially be a home to a coyote. Do you know anything about it? It's pretty beautiful.
I know very little about that part of the state, if I'm being honest.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think it's safe to say we've solved the mystery. It was a coyote running around.
Like,
Kearney.
Raph could sleep in peace tonight because he found out it's a coyote.
One thing that I do know about that area of the state, though, which is kind of interesting, and this is a little bit of a tangent, but they built a dam way back in the day up in New York, and they changed the hydrology of that whole area. That all used to be like cedar forest and whatnot, and then they built this dam, and it changed it forever.
Really?
So if you like go digging in the Meadowlands, there's still like these huge old like cedar
Yep.
stumps and stuff like that. So
It's a really cool story.
yeah.
Wait, so it would have been forest at one point?
Oh yeah. Yep. It was all
Meadowlands.
cedar forest. But then because of this dam, it changed the hydrology of the whole like Hudson River area, and then it got like salt marshy and.
Was the purpose of the dam just so they could control the water flow and build more here in this area?
I believe it was for drinking water for New York, but I could be wrong.
That makes sense. That's pretty crazy.
How long ago are we talking? There was like a forest there. Like 100 years ago?
100, 200 years ago.
That's crazy.
Probably
dude.
closer to 200 now, I'd assume.
It's really interesting. I'm trying to find photos, but I'm guessing there wouldn't be any because it'd be 200 years ago. As you're saying this.
Let's do another mailbag. One more before we get into the news.
Sure. That was a great call. Thanks for the insight. Jimmy, do you want to say anything before we move on from the Bobcat
Jimmy,
thing?
you had something to say about the Bobcats earlier.
Yeah, so this week I was just scrolling on the Facebook as I do sometimes. I'm a member of some of these like New Jersey groups, and someone posted these videos and photos of this huge bobcat. And I was like, you know what? If I was an uneducated New Jerseyan, just, normal resident driving down the road, I'd be like, that's a mountain lion.
So you're taking another shot at our listener from a few weeks ago with the Christmas tree farm.
I feel like Bobcats have more of like a square face and like a bigger back,
Oh.
right?
I don't know.
The shape is just different. Like I look at that and I'm like, that's a Bobcat.
A mountain
Got a little
lion.
more of
okay.
a dump truck to it.
Okay.
A mountain lion looks like a lion. Like if you see one, they just look very, very, very rugged.
Can you type in Bobcat face? Like the face is very distinct. It's more of a square.
Chomik,
It's like a square.
I'm going to quiz you next week on the podcast.
What are you
live.
gonna do?
I'm going to get a bunch of pictures of bobcats and mountain lions.
Oh, easy.
Side by side.
Easy.
And you're going to have to tell me which is which.
Yeah, the face tells it all. Right? Can't you see it, Josh? The square?
A bobcat. Bobcats to me look very cat-like. They just look very much like if you crossbred a house cat with something a little bit more like a lynx or
Like a
something.
Siamese.
While a mountain lion looks a step below an actual lion, to me at least. But
Jimmy, please
Jim-
quiz me next week.
so-
I really want to do
Jimmy,
that.
so your point was that it'd be easy to get confused between a mountain lion and a bobcat.
I
That's
think
what
for
everyone's confused
someone
about.
living in New Jersey who's never seen one before and you're just driving down the road and you just see this big cat, you might automatically think bobcat.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, mountain lion.
A short tail, from what I've seen online, is bobcats have really short tails, while mountain lions have very long tails. And also, mountain lions, I said this a few weeks ago, but a mountain lion from tail to snout is going to be 7 to 8 feet long, while a bobcat's, according to this thing I'm looking at right now, is only 3 feet long. So
8 feet is big, dude.
yeah, it's going to be very noticeable.
It's going to destroy you.
Yeah, they could be like 200 pounds. So you guys want to get in the news?
We'll do that other mailbag and then we'll get into it.
Oh, okay. There was another mailbag. Good point. Before we get into the news, this is Donna from Cranford.
Hey, this is Donna from Cranford. Love you guys. I researched turning ashes into a diamond, and I keep teasing my husband that you better gain some weight because when he's gone, I want a really, really big stone. Anyway, enjoy the podcast. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
She makes a good point.
Nice, Donna.
Does the size of the diamond get determined by how many ashes you got? Because in that case, we're all living life wrong. We're all going to be turning into diamonds.
I don't know. That is.
That was a very interesting take from Donna there.
Donna, I appreciate it. And
Encouraging her husband to get a little bigger.
It's
so
like
she can get a bigger
fattening him
diamond.
up.
what you can do, here's the tip. Like when you make him food, just start slipping like coconut oil and other oils into the food. And that should add, a solid 40, 50 pounds over the course of a year to him. And if you're slipping stuff into his food at that point, there's no reason you couldn't, What do you think?
Yo, I have no words. Donna, that was
Donna from
insane.
Cranford. Here's what I want to say. Cranford, great town. Excellent. Some would say great high school.
Whoa.
And some would even say the graduates from that high school are somewhat brilliant. And I don't want to say who would say that, but it might be me, and I might be talking about myself. So
We're going to have the police contact us in a few months.
That kid that just followed us
oh yeah,
from the Cardinals.
Yeah, we got to follow this. Some kid bought a shirt, and he's from Cranford High School, plays for the Cardinals. Pretty cool.
It's crazy.
My sister was like, oh yeah, I know him. So I guess he's just a local hometown hero, as they'd say.
Local
cool.
legend.
I think it's a good town. It's a great town. It just floods a little too much during a hurricane, but other than that, it's a great town.
It's expensive now.
I think the police are going to contact us in a few months because of Donna's phone call. Her
No,
husband's
no,
going
no.
to die.
No, death. Why would he die? I just said just oils, coconut oil, and
Yeah, she's not going to poison her husband.
No, but she fattened him up, and then she's going to die, and then now she's making a diamond for herself.
oh boy. All right,
Donna, I would lay low if I were you.
let's get into the news because there's a lot of news. I want to take some time with it because some of these stories
It's a lot.
are a lot, and the first one's a bit more lighthearted, but hilarious nonetheless. And this is one of those stories that you read it and you're like, what is going on in New Jersey? What is there something in the water?
Every week we have a story like this, though.
Maybe. So this one's good. It is South Jersey, though, so no offense to our South Jersey listeners. A South Jersey man was arrested this week for dropping green dye into people's pools from his drone.
Wow.
You can't
With
make
his
that
drone.
up.
Is
First
he
off-
a licensed FAA drone pilot?
First,
Is this a prank? Like, why was he trying to do this?
well, it is funny. It is funny to release green dye from the sky and then someone's pool turns green, but also why?
Well, he was a local business owner, I believe.
Okay, so let's get into the article. It says an Absecon man has been accused of terrorizing neighbors with a drone and dropping dye into local pools in the Absecon and Galloway area, according to the officials. Officials say Patrick Spina IV, 45, flew his drone over multiple people's yards and dropped dye from the drone that turned people's pools green. Absecon police say they received a call on August 13th from a concerned homeowner on Upland Avenue who reported suspicious activity after noticing a drone hovering over their pool. According to police, the homeowner said a substance was dropped from the drone that turned the pool water an alarming shade of green.
Wow.
This is kind of like in Chicago when they turned the river St. Patty's Day green.
Yeah, it's probably the same chemical.
Officials say that the substance dropped from the drone into pools was sea dye, a material utilized by sea rescue services. They say the use of the material in this context was not only illicit, but also caused damage to the affected pools. Officials say there were also similar reports from various other locations, including the Quality Inn in Galloway Township.
Oh, he got the quality in.
They say the concrete pool base suffered damage due to the dye. An investigation with police on the Federal Aviation Administration led the drone being tracked Friday over the Quality Inn. Officials say authorities tracked the drone back to the Comfort Solutions and Heating and Cooling, a business located in Galloway Township. So this dude is running rampant, sending his drone everywhere. He's facing multiple counts of criminal mischief. He's since been released on a summons pending court proceedings. So here's the funny part of this is a pool turns green. It's really good. It's really funny. But the downside is if you're damaging a pool, pools have become astronomically expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was talking to my father-in-law because they have an in-ground pool, and he was telling me, I think he got it probably 15 years ago, and he was telling me, I don't even remember what he spent on it, but it was more reasonable, more what you'd expect. Like, Jimmy, what do you think an in-ground pool like a normal-sized one should cost?
Oh, I have no idea because I know somebody in the pool business, and they told me a few years ago that they don't touch jobs under $50,000.
Nice.
So his pool is under 50, I believe. And then you do the concrete around it and stuff. His neighbor got one. They got quoted a year ago and they got quoted 70 grand and they didn't do it and they waited. Then they got quoted again. It was like 110 grand.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
pools are just crazy. So if someone cracks your pool, the base of your pool, like in ground, there's different ones. There's plastic, there's metal. I think there's even concrete ones. If someone cracks it, I'd imagine that's a very expensive repair. Yeah. It's not like hey, let's pay $300 and get that fixed. It's probably like a drain the pool, get a professional to come in.
Well, that's why at first when I read that he was a business owner, I thought maybe he worked for a pool company where he repairs pools, and maybe he was just trying to get more business.
Definitely
by
possible.
damaging pools. But then I found out They caught him at the heating and cooling place, I think.
So
is that his business?
Here's what I want to look up. I want to look this up on Twitter really quick because sometimes you find juice on Twitter from the locals. Let me see while we continue the conversation.
Shout out to the Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. Like, it seems like that's his business because that's where they tracked this guy down to.
Why are we giving them a shout out?
Well, it was an article. We already read it. Like, that's where they caught him. But, like, he has a heating and cooling solutions business. Like, what are you doing messing with pools?
Maybe he works on pool heaters.
Could be. But that's why. That's why I thought maybe he's damaging pools in order to get more local business. But in the end, you're going to get caught. Like, if you have a drone, you're going to get caught. It's so easy. Don't be stupid.
This sounds like it was an act of, he was trying to.
But why? Is it just for fun? Let me damage people's pools.
Let's see what the patch is saying.
I guess it's a funny prank. Like, let me color people's pools.
He's a resident and the owner of Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. I wonder, can you look that up, that business, and see if there's reviews on it? Because I'm curious if the reviews are affected. It doesn't say anything different in this article. The homeowner.
They got Yelp, yeah.
They have Yelp?
Yeah. 1 star, 2 reviews.
Oh, there are 3 stars on Google.
Yeah, it does not say why he caused the damage to these pools. It's such an act of I don't know. It's a random act of violence. Why would he do this? And maybe someone from the South Jersey area has a scoop on this. I don't know. But if someone dumped dye into my pool, I think I'd be confused.
Of course,
I'd be mad, of course.
Especially if you see a drone
what?
hovering over your house. You're like, why is there a drone spying on me? That's number one. That's kind of creepy. Then you notice it's dropping something.
If a drone flew over my pool, let's just say I would take advantage of the opportunity to neutralize it.
Oh, 100%. I would take a slingshot and try to hit it with some rocks.
I'd take birdshot and we'd take it out real quick. I think that'd be a really fun. If you lived in the country, that'd be a really fun. I think shooting a drone out of the sky sounds.
It'd be cool video footage.
Should we call Comfort Solutions now and get like?
Hey, do you guys work on pools? I have a problem with my in-ground pool, and I need someone to come fix it. It's
maybe
turning green for some reason.
Maybe he cracked. Maybe this is like a mental break sort of thing.
I don't know.
But
maybe it's like a midlife crisis.
Well, how so?
I don't know. Maybe he's like, let me just go all out.
I guess.
Let me go out pretty big with this one. He's not going to get much, he'll probably just get a fine out of all this. Nice hefty fine.
Yeah, I think he'll probably just have to pay for damages or something. But nonetheless, a ridiculous story out of South Jersey.
You got to love it.
You got to love the excitement down there.
Hey, no one died. No one jumped in their green pool after it got dyed. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
All right, moving on to our next story. One TikTok famous cat has been drawing visitors to a New Jersey. One TikTok famous cat. Let me start over for you. Sorry, Josh. All right, moving on to
wait, pause, and then.
Okay. All right, moving on to our next story. One TikTok famous cat has been drawing visitors to a New Jersey Home Depot.
I've seen this cat
You have?
on TikTok. I want to go visit him in real life.
I haven't seen the cat at all. Is it? So it's pretty viral, huh?
Oh, he's super viral cat. He lives out in the garden center at night, but during the day
really
they
cool.
bring him in on a cart. He's huge.
I did see this cat. That's Jersey?
Yeah, we should go visit him.
We got to put this up on our
It's really cool.
Instagram today. He's going super viral, and they feed him and they put him in the garden center. So this is out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
Like, who needs a commercial or an ad for a Home Depot when you have a cat living there and a TikTok?
Home Depot employees can be pretty chill. I don't know what it is. They just seem to have, good times.
There's some really lazy employees out there that don't care about their jobs at Home Depot. That's all I'm going to say. I've had some run-ins.
Okay.
So just watch what you say on this podcast.
Okay, I apologize.
It's okay.
Mount Laurel, New Jersey. People from far and wide are visiting a seemingly ordinary Home Depot store in New Jersey for an unlikely reason. Leo, the resident cat at Home Depot in Mount Laurel, has amassed a large following on TikTok after a shopper posted videos of him. The very first one I did, the first day it hit 4.5 million views.
Wow.
That's crazy. Said Jeff Simpkins. Jeff Simpkins. You got to change that last name, my guy.
Simpkins? It's a good last name.
His name is Simpkins. My boy Simpin?
Josh.
No? All right, let's move on. I'm happy if I get 1,000 views on a video before this. Leo was adopted by the store about a year ago to keep mice at bay. Oh, that's such a good idea. So they bring a cat in the store and it kills all the mice. That's
Guess
great.
there was way too many mice, so then let's bring a cat in. It's easier.
That's a great technique. They got to do that in New York. Remember we had that idea for the city of New York?
Just bring them all over the place.
Jeff met Leo while shopping a little over a month ago and decided to chronicle his trips to see Leo on TikTok. Leo is cared for by a Home Depot employee named Donna, who Jeff says takes Leo home on holidays and makes sure he visits the vet when he needs it. Wow. She picks out his food, gives him food and water. He's in good hands, Jeff said. Jeff started an Amazon wish list for his 2 cats, Will and Grace, and has since added Leo. Oh, this is great. This guy is like really taking care of this cat. The gifts poured in for the internet star along with thank you notes and well wishes. It makes people feel good. It brings happiness to a lot of people. Hey, that's a feel good story right there.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
That's a feel good story. This cat is...
Pause. This lady's distracting me.
She's holding up a sign. What does it say?
There's a lady outside our window holding signs. Josh is trying to read what they say. She's talking about a seeing eye dog to Josh. Jimmy, what's going on? Jimmy, you have a better look.
I don't know.
Fill me in.
So I was having a conversation with her through the door, though.
Oh, he's letting her in. He's letting her straight into the studio. What is going on?
I'm kind of confused. I mean, we really do have a studio audience this week.
What in the world was that? Fill us in. She had signs?
So...
What just happened?
A woman came to the window with a bunch of pieces of paper, and she was asking a question. She said, "What is the official dog of the state of New Jersey?"
Okay.
And she was like, "You're Josh and Josh from the Garden State podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, very, maybe she listens.
Maybe.
But she said the seeing eye dog is the the state dog for the state of New Jersey.
Is that, can we get a confirmation?
I'm looking it up now.
I mean, that's not a breed, but I guess it could make sense.
Oh, wait, that's all
yeah,
she
the
wanted to
seeing
share
eye
with
dog,
you?
state dog.
And
Yeah.
she said she raises seeing eye dogs. So
No
I
way.
said, there's no way. And she said, what kind of dogs? And she goes, German Shepherds, Black Lab puppies, Black Labs, and Golden Retrievers. So I said, do you have any right now? And she said, I have a 4-month-old Black Lab. And I said, okay, so we're going to be done in 45 minutes. Bring the dog over so I can meet it.
That's awesome.
Wait, this is kind of nuts, and I want to make sure I'm reading this properly, but according to this, all seeing eye dogs are born and trained in New Jersey before they are placed with people who are blind across the United States and Canada.
That
So
makes
you're
sense.
saying
'Cause-
that-
Well, because it's our state dog.
Are you saying that there's nowhere else that...
Well, she was saying Seeing Eye is the company that trains them. That makes sense because she was saying they train them and then she raises them. So I told her, I said, in 45 minutes, about that, we'll be done. Come over. I want to meet this dog. She said, I'll set a timer.
Seeing Eye is a company? I thought it's just because it was a Seeing Eye dog.
Well, it's every time I see the word Seeing Eye online, there's a registered mark next to it. So I'm assuming SeeingEye is a
Yeah.
company.
I just learned that
trademarked.
today. That's amazing.
So Seeing Eye, that's interesting. Yeah. So Seeing Eye is an organization, it seems.
So New Jersey trains Seeing Eye dogs for the entire country.
That's a great fact, and she was really sweet. So I told her
That
to bring
was
it.
awesome.
I love Black Labs, and I personally want a Black Lab. So I said, "Can you bring it over so we can meet it? Maybe we'll take some pics with it."
Oh, let's go play with it.
So
But back to the cat story. I was trying to continue the story, Josh, and I just kept seeing this woman hold the paper. I was like, I'm so distracted right now.
no, it was really amazing. She was super sweet. That was pretty funny. Okay, so let's move on to our next story from the cat at Home Depot. Were you, by the way, doing commentary on me walking over there?
Oh yeah,
I
was
couldn't
so
figure out how to open
confused.
the door. Mm-hmm. I was like, I thought it was locked, but
Yeah, if you want to go see Leo the cat, go to Mount Laurel Home Depot down south. Check him out. Go
really
say
fun.
hi and go play with him.
All right, moving on to our next story. This comes after Labor Day weekend, and I know we all probably heard stories of what happened at the shore. There was a lot of craziness, it seemed. Jimmy, you were telling us a bit about it. But 3 people died at the Jersey Shore over Labor Day weekend due to rip currents.
It was a dangerous weekend, bro. I just kept constantly hearing about stories of people getting in the water and just getting swept by the riptides. Terrible.
So, Chomik, is this because of the storm that's off the coast right now?
I don't know, because when Franklin was right off the coast, down in the Carolinas, or no, down out in the Atlantic somewhere, there were so many rip currents, but it's been rough the past week and a half, dude.
My parents were at the beach yesterday, and they said that it was extremely, extremely rough.
I saw so many videos of rescues this weekend. People just kept getting swept out there, bro. You got to stay out of the water if it's a red flag.
Well, I think beyond that, the ocean, oh man, I hate to sound like a crazy person, but we always talk about this. The ocean isn't a pool. The ocean it's obviously, you can't characterize it as a being, but it's a wild thing. It's nature.
Yeah.
And we don't perceive the ocean to be nature because we're so familiar with it. You go to the beach, you lay there, you read a book, you do a crossword puzzle. It's nature. And nature is not a respecter of person, right? Like nature isn't going to sit there and go, oh, I saw a black and white photo. This was truly horrible. A few days ago, I was looking at famous photos from the last century. There was a photo of a couple, black and white photo from probably the 40s or 50s, and they're distraught on the beach. And the caption was a young couple after their 18-month-old baby was swept out to sea. So I guess their baby was playing in the sand.
God,
and it's
terrible.
like, I know we know it, but the ocean is such a ridiculously dangerous thing if you don't know what you're doing. And with rip currents, it's almost like to swim in the ocean, you need to get rip current training before even going in. Because if you're going to just sit like, we all go like 20 feet in, you bounce around a little bit. But a rip current can even pull you out from there if you're not careful. And I got caught in a rip current when I was probably in 7th or 8th grade. And I got out of it, but it was scary how fast you're moving. You're moving quick. Like it's not like I'm slowly getting away from shore. It's like you're getting sucked out to sea.
Yeah.
And you got to get out of it.
And most of the time
So
you can't
scary.
even, you can't even see it.
And your natural gut
terrifying.
reaction, because it's kind of like, you feel a little bit of terror and a little bit of stress. Your natural instinct is to want to swim directly towards shore, and then almost makes it worse because you tire yourself out. And you're not going to beat the ocean in a strength contest.
You got to go left or right.
Yeah, you got to get out of the
You
current.
know what? I actually saw something this weekend from the head lifeguard in Spring Lake. And she was on season 43 or Survivor or whatnot. She's been the head lifeguard for 15 years. She actually is saying not to swim left or right. She says that you should just float, let the current take you, because eventually it's going to stop. And then once you stop getting pulled out, that's when you start swimming left or right.
Bro, I don't know.
So
they've always been like, just swim left or right.
Well, hold on. So do people drown from a rip current because they tire themselves out fighting and then they just can't do it anymore? Because that makes sense.
Also, you're treading water for like 5-10 minutes.
And also, if you're calm, here's the reality. If you're calm, you just tread. Lifeguards are going to come get you. Like they're going to see.
Well, if you're on a guarded beach.
Yeah, exactly. If you're on Island Beach State Park where there's not a lifeguard, then you're at the will of somebody else calling the police.
Well, there is lifeguards there, but you're only allowed to swim in the lifeguarded areas.
Oh, well, I don't swim in the non-lifeguarded areas. Never have I done that.
Well, I mean, I've gotten caught in rip currents before too, and it's really, really scary once you get pulled out and you can't touch the ground anymore.
That's
right?
where the fear like naturally kicks in, because you're like, okay, I gotta tread water or do something right now,
You have no idea how
and
deep
you
it
just
is.
feel stuck. Yeah, you feel stuck.
Yeah, so here's what the article says. I know, Jimmy, we could talk about some of the other things that we all heard about over the weekend. There were rumors of different injuries, and there's a lot that seemed to be going on. But it says the last weekend of the summer season at the Jersey Shore was a deadly one. 2 swimmers drowned Sunday, and another is presumed dead after rip currents created hazardous swimming conditions in multiple beach towns. A 22-year-old man drowned in Beach Haven, Long Beach Island. That's so upsetting. 22. After getting swept away by a rip current, and a 42-year-old man died in Belmar, according to multiple news reports. The search for a 31-year-old man who went missing while swimming at Seaside Heights has been called off. So that's
they didn't find
crazy.
him.
You're talking about 3 men in kind of 22 to 42, kind of prime, physical years.
Yeah,
drowning.
You can't. No matter how in shape you are, you can't beat a rip current.
In Beach Haven, lifeguards formed a human chain in an effort to rescue 2 swimmers and recovered the body of a man who drowned there shortly after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Coast Guard and other agencies were busy executing a similar rescue mission in Seaside Heights. They ultimately pulled 5 distressed swimmers from the water around 6:30 p.m. A 6th swimmer has not been found. Earlier in Del Mar, 6 swimmers were pulled from the water at the 6th Avenue beach. One of them was unresponsive and taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The National Weather Service issued an advisory about the dangerous rip currents at beaches in Delaware and New Jersey, warning that rip currents can sweep even the best swimmers away from shore into deeper waters, and urging beachgoers to swim near a lifeguard. The rip current advisory will remain in effect until Tuesday evening. Rip currents are strong, narrow currents of water that can occur in the ocean near the shore where the waves break. The currents can pull unsuspecting swimmers further out into deeper water, often by surprise. The National Weather Service encourages people to avoid swimming at beaches where there are no lifeguards on duty. If caught in a rip current, the best escape method is to turn sideways to the shore and wade or swim until free of the rip current. The National Weather Service says then move back towards the shore at an angle that is away from the rush of water. Trying to swim straight to the shore against the rip tide is too difficult, even for strong swimmers. So, well, I mean, obviously, that's the thing that it's the ocean, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people forget about that. They're like, yeah, I'm a strong swimmer. I'm going to be able to beat it. No, you're not. You don't know how strong that thing is. And it says the advisory is in effect until Tuesday.
So it's still going on.
It's still going on throughout this weekend. And if you're at the beach, number one, swim at a guarded beach, obviously. And number two, if it's rough, if you're not at a guarded beach, and you shouldn't be swimming, but yeah, be careful. Never go out alone.
It's pretty heartbreaking that, man, it's just like that someone could just die swimming in the ocean. It's just so random.
Yeah, you just never know.
These were real people, you know? It's really sad to think about. You got to be so careful. You just got to be careful.
I saw a video of like a person, they had a GoPro attached to them. I think it was a guy filming like a video for a boogie board company, like a professional swimmer. And he was out filming and there was someone who got pulled in by a rip current. So his body cam footage showed him going out with his boogie board to save this older man. And the guy got on his boogie board, but just seeing the people in the video, just they couldn't move because they were just stuck in their spot, just treading water. It's just like I couldn't watch it. It was kind of terrifying.
It's a great ad for his boogie board.
I know.
It
was actually perfect. I didn't read too much into it, but I was like, wow, that boogie board company better pay this guy well because it just showed the strength of that boogie board in a rip current.
It's crazy. You got to be so careful. And, you know, obviously these poor families that got to deal with losing on Labor Day weekend at the beach, losing a family member. It's
150%.
Pretty heartbreaking. 150%?
That's at 150%.
Dude, that's awesome. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
150%.
It's just so random.
It's like I always say like 150%. Like, yeah, I agree.
I know. It totally makes sense. I don't know why, for some reason in my brain, it caught me so off guard. It's like 150.
Yeah, because it's like it's definitely more than 100%. Like, yeah, like of course.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that.
You get it.
I'm gonna start stealing that one. All right. So speaking of offshore stuff happening at the beach, the wind project. There is breaking news, and if you're sick and tired of us hearing us talk about the offshore wind energy project, then you can skip ahead. But this is a pretty big breaking story. The New Jersey offshore wind project has been delayed to 2026 and potentially could be canceled altogether.
Wow.
This is insane. We are watching crazy. New Jersey history right before our
really
eyes. Because this was something that from the beginning, it was controversial. And I remember the first time we ever talked about this, we didn't really even have a take on it. Because I don't think we took it super serious and didn't realize the gravity of it.
We didn't know it was going to actually happen.
And then as we've gone along, it's become more and more of a prominent story. And it's very divisive. And I try to...
Before you go into the story, did you see the photos of like the renderings of what it would look like?
No.
Because we always talk about what it's going to look like offshore, on the shore. But yeah, here are like some renderings, Josh. If you want to look at my phone really quick, that's what it would look like.
Oh my gosh!
Like if you guys haven't seen these photos, just Google like New Jersey offshore wind farms photos or renderings.
All right, to listeners on our social media, this is a rendering of what it would look like from Long Beach Island.
Scroll down, you'll see a few others from Long Beach Island.
Oh my gosh.
It looks like it looks like you're looking out into the ocean to another city.
Wow, that's crazy. There's no way they do this.
Yeah, right?
Oh my gosh. How many turbines is that? That's like hundreds.
But that's the thing. I thought they said they were going to only start by putting 3 in. And that's like 100. So I have no idea how accurate that is.
If this is accurate, that's crazy.
Right? Well, anyway, it's going to be delayed until 2026 now. If not canceled. So, yeah, crazy times.
I have this feeling in my gut it's not going to happen. I just think it's become too unpopular among residents of New Jersey.
Yeah,
people are kind of waking up going, and here's the thing. You tell these owners of property, beachfront property in LBI, this is what the view is going to look like in 10 years.
Oh, they're going to erupt.
I think it's going to be bad, but you know, it's interesting. So here's what it says. Danish developer Ørsted has officially delayed the Ocean Wind 1 project off the coast of New Jersey until at least 2026. Company officials say they did not consider canceling the project entirely, but still believe it will be profitable for them in the long run, which as long as it's profitable for you guys, you know, to destroy our beaches, whatever. Speaking on News 12, Governor Murphy said he was not surprised and his administration has been in constant contact with Orsted. Representative Jeff Van Drew called the delay a victory and credited people for speaking out once. Rep. Jeff Van Drew called the delay a victory and credited people for speaking out once the facts presented themselves about the impact of the project. These projects are profit-driven, damaging to our oceans, negatively impact our national security, and cause utility bills to skyrocket, Van Drew said in a statement. Now, we can't fact-check any of that. I mean, we're reading an article. I feel like we got to clarify that because I don't want to say something. I do believe they're profit-driven.
You just read a quote, so.
I do believe they're profit-driven. That makes sense to me. And my perspective is I think they probably do some damage to the ocean, considering it's not a naturally occurring thing, but I could be wrong on that. But the rest of it, I don't know. It's just an article we're reading. The previous story detailing Orsted's financial troubles is below. Already facing a series of lawsuits and opposition from state and local officials, Danish wind power developer Ørsted is reporting huge financial losses. Those losses, company officials warned, could reach $2.3 billion in the U.S. and may force the cancellation of projects of the New Jersey coast. In a conference call with investors, Ørsted CEO Mads Nipper told them, if the walkaway scenario is the economical, rational decision for us, then this remains a real scenario for us. So it sounds like this is I have a feeling it's not going to happen. I think they're going to be so tangled up in lawsuits that it just is probably not going to go through, and they're going to give up on it. In July, Governor Murphy signed controversial legislation that would give a big tax break to Ørsted for the first of 2 energy projects off the Jersey Shore. So this is controversial, and I want to know what people are feeling at home about this. I'm not in favor of it. I think that there's so much money floating around with this that I just get skeptical of.
What is it? $2.3 billion in losses.
It's a lot of money to just lose and be like, well, we'll consider doing it in 2 years.
It's a lot of money.
Billions.
A lot of the people down the shore who'd been picketing, trying to save the whale lives and all that, they're going to be kind of happy about this story.
I think the whale lovers will be happy. And on the other side, there's whale lovers that are going to be mad because this is the weirdness of this story in particular is you have environmentalists on both sides going at each other. And it's really what it comes down to is what are the facts? Mm-hmm. If the facts are...
And no one has the facts. That's the thing.
To me personally, and this is a hot take, even if the whales weren't dying, I don't like the idea of it. I think it bothers me to look at the ocean.
Well, yeah, you don't want to look out and see a city of just windmills.
Yeah, I think put them 60 miles out, and then maybe that's cool with me because it's not going to... I know the trade winds or whatever, I don't know what kind of winds they are, but they probably are best a few miles off. Mm-hmm. Like if you're that far out in the middle of the ocean, it's probably not as windy. I don't know.
It's science.
Yeah, I'm not a scientist, but to me personally, I don't like the aesthetic of it just feels so New Jersey for us to be at the beach, the one place where you can... It's the
Jersey Shore. You can't ruin the shore.
And you're looking at wind turbines, but I think... the whale thing, who knows? I mean, we talked about Michael Schellenberger. We were trying to get an interview with him. Can you believe Michael Schellenberger, a gubernatorial candidate in California, who's written a bunch of big books, who just made a documentary on the whales, who's been on Joe Rogan. Like, the guy is very busy and very famous. Responded to my email in 7 minutes. Hey, he was like, I said, hey, we'd love to talk to you because you made this documentary. And he asked us a question back. I have to follow up with him because it's just, there's been a lot going on. But the fact that guy responded faster than any of the professors at Rutgers I reached out to, there were a few.
And this guy's way more famous.
He's got way more. I mean, I'm not saying whose life is busier because everybody's got their stuff, but this is a prominent guy who is proposing he's a very brilliant guy. He was proposing ways to solve homelessness in California or at least make it better, because solving it's kind of to say you're going to solve homelessness, I don't know. I get skeptical off the bat, but yeah, for him to respond so quickly and for these people at Rutgers to not respond at all kind of makes me a little bit like, what's going on here? And I'm skeptical of all of it. I think it's not going to go through. And by the time 2026 rolls around, Murphy's not going to be governor anymore. So it's like at that point, he could sign something through and allow construction to begin, but the next guy or gal could come in and easily chop it down.
Yeah.
So
we have until then.
I think this had to be something that got started this year or next year, 2023, 2024, for it to actually go through. I think you're not going to dole out a contract. It's just going to get, I think, shot down eventually.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So we'll have to see. We have a few years now to kind of rest on this. Hopefully, we don't get many more stories after this. But if you live down near LBI or in the shore area and you weren't in favor for these wind farms, look, you have some time now. So
Yeah. All right. Next story. This one is out of the National Review, and I like when we get how do I put this? When we get publications that are not local. I say that to say this is an article that spanned nationwide. From National Review to CNN to Fox News, everybody's talking about this. So, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is refusing to accept more migrants after voting to make New Jersey a sanctuary state. Did you hear about this situation?
I heard the uproar. I think what they're trying to send just thousands of migrants from New York City, and they wanted to take over Atlantic City Airport.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
I saw a video of the mayor of Atlantic City. What is his name? We talked about it like a while ago. Atlantic City Mayor. He has a cool name. Marty Small.
Marty Smalls.
My boy Marty Small.
Marty's like, do not bring people in here.
Well, I saw a press conference with him where he was like, I am not afraid to stand up against not only my own party, but the president of the United States. And I was like, Marty Small, my boy, he's going in. So the situation here is obviously, we on the Garden State, we try not to dive too deeply into these deeply political matters because
we stay far from it.
It ruins the fun of the podcast.
Yeah.
But one of our rules is when something is super national like this, we use discretion to figure out, is it something we should talk about on the podcast?
Yeah.
Whether you agree or disagree.
It affects the state.
As a resident of New Jersey, you should know what's going on. So when Trump was president, Murphy vowed that we'd be a sanctuary state. As you can remember, 2016 and 2020 were crazy times in America. There was a lot of everybody was on a side. Everything was an argument. And so Murphy he vowed to keep New Jersey a sanctuary state. And since that took place, more recently, there's been a lot of migrants coming into New York City, and it's become a topic where the governor of New York and the mayor of New York City are trying to figure out what to do with these people. So they were talking about the Atlantic City Airport being a potential.
What are they going to build? How are they going to put people in the airport though?
Dude, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And now Murphy is saying unless the federal government's going to pay for it, New Jersey is at capacity.
But Murphy's going back on what he said about being a sanctuary state because he's like, we're not bringing these people in.
Yeah. So he's singing a different tune now. I can read you the article.
Yeah, let's hear the article because there's a lot to dig in here.
Our listeners could draw their own conclusions on this one. So the article says, after the Biden administration teased the idea of relocating New York City migrants to the Atlantic City International Airport in New Jersey, the state's Democratic governor has come out publicly refusing to cooperate. He said, I don't see any scenario where we're going to be able to take in the program in Atlantic City or frankly anywhere else in the state. That's Governor Murphy speaking. So those are some tough words, which makes you think that he knows some stuff that maybe we don't even know. We're already seeing folks in New Jersey that have probably swelled into New Jersey from New York or other locations, but you need to scale an enormous amount of federal support resources that go beyond anything we can afford. Putting everything else aside, I just don't see it. I would suspect that it'll continue to be the case. So Murphy sounds like he's saying, unless the federal government's going to pay for this, there's just no way we're going to do it. And even if they were to pay for it, I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
That's what I take from that. Murphy's comments are a remarkable about face given his contemplation of turning New Jersey into a sanctuary state during the 2017 gubernatorial race. Donald Trump and Chris Christie have shown us that elections have consequences and that the most effective tactic is to push back, to reject the politics of division and fear-mongering, and to use the ballot box. Murphy, who previously served as an American ambassador to Germany in the Obama administration, told Politico at one time. So at the time, Murphy sought to distinguish himself from the president, Donald Trump, and his rhetoric on illegal immigration will be a sanctuary, not just city, but state, then Democratic candidate Murphy said in a New Jersey gubernatorial debate. So Murphy's going back on this. Clearly, there's a cost to being able to... Kind
of like the bear hunt, too. How you have to go back on that.
I think what I'm realizing, and I think what I'm realizing with all politicians is a lot of people will say what they got to say to get elected. And then when push comes to shove and you're in 2023 and it's become astronomically... I mean, New Jersey's always been expensive. Let's be real. Let's not be naive in this. But it's become very expensive to live here. And I think it's hard to justify taxpayer dollars going to serve migrants when there's, people in New Jersey that are really suffering. We have homelessness everywhere in the state.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, you go to Morristown, there's homeless people in Morristown. Like it's not just something that's relegated to super urban areas where you'd expect homelessness. Like you go to Manhattan, there's homelessness. You go to Newark, there's homelessness. Jersey City. But you talk about little suburban towns with homeless people, it's kind of crazy. And I'm wondering if that's part of why Murphy's changing his tune. I think that it'd be an expensive thing. And you can't put it on the taxpayer to kind of figure this out, especially if the taxpayer doesn't want to be the one to foot the bill. So
Marty Small in Atlantic City, he's just like fed up. He's just like, nah, we're not gonna follow the Biden admin here.
Let me find the video of him because it was pretty funny. He was just.
I saw the video. Yeah, it was so good.
It wasn't funny for any reason other than I just think his name is funny, Marty Small.
The Wild West.
In my experience as mayor, Atlantic City has been a perennial dumping ground.
Local leaders said they're worried about the impact on the region.
They're escaping tyranny. We should understand that this country.
So wait, fast forward a while. Was there nothing earlier?
He didn't speak at all. That's the only soundbite they got from him. I mean, he went off. He was really complaining. But his point in that clip was Atlantic City's the dumping ground. It's where you send all the stuff you don't want to deal with. And I think
that's so annoying.
He should be. I think it's right for him to stand up for AC. I think AC is kind of ripe for a little revolution.
That's why the city's falling apart, dude.
Yeah,
it's a dumping ground.
So I wonder what people at home are thinking about this. Is for you? Is it an out of sight, out of mind sort of thing? Like you're like, oh, it's not where I live, so I don't care. Or does this concern you as a taxpayer? I'd like to hear what people think.
Send them to the nicest town in Jersey instead. See if people have open arms.
Move these people to Upper Montclair, not Atlantic. Think about that. Think about the poverty level in Atlantic City.
It's like the Martha's Vineyard thing.
Yeah, why don't we move them to the Teterboro airport, the private one? Or how about the Morristown, the private airport in Morristown that Trump and all these other people fly to?
Why is it Atlantic City?
You move them to Atlantic City. If you move them to Morristown, let's see if people of Morris County change their tune on this one. It's it's a great point because. I don't know. I think that it just comes down to people that are disenfranchised already having to deal with something that's going to change the local economy. There's going to be ramifications. It's not just you can move a bunch of people to a region and nothing changes.
Yeah.
Jobs are going to be, I don't know. So I don't even know. I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation.
Does Biden even know? We don't know.
I don't know. I think it's funny though that the federal government can go, hey, here's what we're going to do. We got New York here. We got Jersey right next door. Let's move it's so funny how they could just keep calling shots. And then the governor of New Jersey is like, hold on, you guys can't do that. It's kind of interesting how that
it's good that Marty and, Phil Murphy are, we're working together on this one.
I like Marty, man. I hope he runs for governor. All right. So let's read. We have two more stories here. The second to last one is out of South Brunswick. In South Brunswick, New Jersey, one person is dead after a helicopter crash.
This is weird because we don't really know what actually happened here.
Yeah, it says investigators are looking for eyewitness accounts after a video of a helicopter that crashed in an area in Millstone River and Carnegie Lake met near the Delaware and Raritan Canal. The Robinson R-22 helicopter took off from Princeton Airport at 3:12 p.m. Thursday and flew east. Pilot Joseph Ram Yitzhak soon lost control when the helicopter was around 800 feet above the ground. Kingston Fire Captain Chuck Pisano said he saw the helicopter descend and called for help. South Brunswick Police Chief Raymond Hidaka said that residents in Kingston section of South Brunswick, Princeton, Montgomery, and Franklin who may have been away for the holiday weekend should check their security footage.
If you live there, check your cameras.
Yeah, it says the wreckage of the plane was removed Saturday and was taken to the hangar in Delaware. So South Brunswick Police Chief Jim Ryan received props for his handling of the crash scene. When it was discovered, the pilot was an Israeli citizen. Ryan told the Lakewood Scoop that Yitzhak's body was recovered within 15 minutes of the crash along with his Israeli identification card. So this is really sad. This guy was an Israeli citizen flying a helicopter, in this area, and it went down. They don't actually know what caused this, though.
No, that's why they're actually asking for the locals in the area who have Ring doorbells or whatever. We want footage. We want to see if we could pick apart anything that happened in the sky that went wrong because no one really knows.
Helicopters scare me.
Oh, bro. Yeah. It's way more dangerous than a plane.
Because if it's going down,
you're going down.
I know there's like the updraft, so you could bring it down technically slowly. Like you could put it into neutral or something like that, right? Basically in the...
I don't know.
Which doesn't sound like it makes sense, but it apparently makes a lot of sense. But a small plane, I just have more hope that I could glide into like...
Well, that's the thing. If a plane's like engine goes down, you're going to glide. And you just have to get to a spot where you could land. A helicopter, you're just going to drop.
Yeah. You're going to drop where you're going to drop.
Well, when we went on a helicopter, it was my first time on a helicopter when we went over New York City.
Yeah.
It was kind of scary going right off the ground. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this.
There was a helicopter crash in the East River a few years back. And according to a conversation I had with somebody, it might have been Jimmy actually, a while back, they didn't die because of impact. They died because they basically egressed into the water and couldn't. They were freaking out and couldn't get out of their.
Oh, so they
couldn't get out of their harnesses.
Oh, they drowned.
Yeah, so it's not like the helicopter smashed into the river. It slowly came down, and there would have been an opportunity to get out, but they just freaked. Which is why remaining calm in all these, whether it's a rip current or anything, you got to be calm.
Also, I think that was like in the middle of the winter too. I think it was very cold.
Ooh, yeah. But here's the thing: if it's freezing cold and you get out. Everybody is watching this helicopter go down. There's going to be a boat next to you in 3 minutes in the East River. Let's be real. Like there's going to be, whether it's NYPD or Coast Guard or whoever, there's going to be a boat there very quickly and you could survive. You're not going to go into hypothermic shock and drown. I don't think that quickly.
Yeah, that's why I'm curious to how this helicopter went down because the photo looked pretty rough. It looked like it wasn't like a peaceful, drop. I think he actually had a pretty hard fall. That's why if you live in the area and you have a Ring doorbell, bring it out. Bring out the cams because they need to know how this plane went down.
Yeah.
Helicopter, excuse me.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think it's helicopters just scare me. That's all I'll say. But yeah, we'll see. If more comes out, I'm sure people in the area are going to be pulling footage now that this is going really big.
Have you ever been there, Josh, to the DNR Canal?
No.
It's beautiful.
DNR Canal.
Yeah, dude. It's there's I used to go biking there all the time along the canal. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful canal.
You got to go biking there sometime. So I can imagine, I've been there many times, just biking along that thing and just seeing a helicopter fly, drop out of the sky is absolutely awful.
It's really sad.
Yeah, prayers to this guy's family. It's so bad, so sad.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can find some answers as to why this thing went down.
The older I get, the less I'm interested in doing really cool stuff.
I mean, you just flew a helicopter over Manhattan.
That was a year ago, but to me, I just am.
That doesn't get any scarier than that.
I'm at a point where, I don't know. Murphy's Law kind of freaks me out.
You just drove a BMW A50i through a park flying.
It was awesome. It's a great experience. All right, our last story. I know we're closing out here. A viral statue from Burlington County, New Jersey was vandalized. Now police are looking for 3 suspects.
What was this viral statue, Josh?
Oh, it's awesome. So this statue is called Big Rusty. It's a 20-foot statue, and it recently was built by an artist named Thomas Dambo and his team. It's really cool looking if you haven't seen it. I've been seeing it all over TikTok. This is in New Jersey, believe it or not. It reminds me of the Iron Giant.
I don't know why we haven't went to visit it yet, to be honest with you.
We should go visit.
What town are we talking?
This is off of Route 38, and it is in Hainesport Township, yes.
Interesting.
So, do you guys remember Iron Giant?
Of course.
That movie.
I love that movie. I saw it in theaters 3 times.
Did you really?
Yeah. I went back because it was so good. One of my favorites.
That's really funny. So the statue is made of materials from the abandoned pottery factory behind Big Rusty with more than 100 square meters of rusty metal roof, a plywood attic, electrical equipment, and a concrete wall and wood. So what happened was 3 young delinquents vandalized Big Rusty, and there is a photo of these guys.
Boom, boom, boom. Look at them.
And can I just say, as a kid in New Jersey.
Wait, you say kids. These guys are in their 20s?
No, they're grown men. They're grown men.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull up the article so you could see their lovely faces. These are men. They look like they're at least 18.
It looks like a group of just young men playing some Pokemon Go, trying to get into some trouble. Doesn't it look like the guy on the right is definitely playing Pokemon Go?
Oh, 100%. He's definitely trying to fight a Pikachu or something. I was trying to think of a better Pokemon.
So they're trying to find these guys.
Yeah, so here's the thing. When I was a kid, you go in the woods in New Jersey, maybe your woods back up to like train tracks and there's a bridge or something and you see graffiti. As a kid, you always wonder, who are these mysterious adults doing graffiti? Because you're like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, when you were 10, you're like, who are these adults?
Yeah, who are these people that like, these are bad men? And then now on the flip side, I'm like 30 looking and I'm like, these are the people that do graffiti. These three guys. It makes so
if you're gonna
much sense.
If you're gonna do graffiti, great, go do graffiti. But on Big Rusty, what's it called?
Big Rusty.
Big Rusty.
Why you gotta do it on Big Rusty, bro?
These guys look like they are obsessed with Rick and Morty. they have they have vapes that are the actual big box vapes that you put the drops in.
Yeah,
and they probably shot Pickle Rick while they walk around the woods. That's the vibe I'm getting off these photos.
How quickly do you think these guys get caught?
They're probably already caught.
They're probably caught already.
Everyone they graduated high school with is probably going to the police like, yeah, we know these guys.
Like, what kind of camera took these photos?
It's got to be a trail camera.
100% looks like a trail.
That's great quality right there.
Really great quality.
Great.
But
Sucks
why?
to be them.
Here's what I don't get is this is such a cool thing for New Jersey, this statue. And there's photos of them vandalizing it too. From the stand.
That's a photo of them doing it?
I didn't realize when I looked at the article, that's them with spray paint. Look at them.
What idiots.
Dude, what are you doing?
There's cameras everywhere, bro.
Here's the way I see it, though, is we don't get a lot of stuff like this in New Jersey. You get a really cool sculpture. That's just, you could bring your kids to see it. It's cool. It's fun to look at. It's a fun little day trip. Why do you got to go spray paint it? What is going on in your brain? Like, literally just mind your own business. Why can't people mind their own business anymore?
Go spray paint a bridge. I don't know. Go spray paint underneath like a creek, like you were saying. Like, not this.
Yeah, like
not Big Rusty.
Go write your name in some awful bubble letters under some bridge somewhere. Leave Big Rusty alone. We should make T-shirts. Leave Big
Rusty alone.
Yeah, we should make shirts.
How down south are we talking? Where's Hainesport? Can you guys show me?
It's not super down south. It's off 295 and Turnpike.
Yeah, I haven't been to
5,
Hainesport.
exit
Shout out
5
to
on
everyone
Turnpike.
listening from Hainesport.
You never been to Hainesport?
It's literally next to Timbuktu.
Yep.
Zoom out, Josh. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's right next to Mount Laurel. But I didn't know Timbuktu was a place.
Yeah, actually, really, really interesting African American history place.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Because I always thought like Timbuktu was a saying, like, yeah, run away, scram, kid, to Timbuktu. Is that not a thing?
That is a thing.
All right.
But I don't know if it's that saying comes from this Timbuktu.
Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of Timbuktus, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, and with that, that's our last story of the day, and we have Seeing Eye Dog coming to see us in 5 minutes. So I'm very excited.
I hope she actually comes out with the dog.
I told her 8:15. She definitely was a listener because she was like, "You're Josh and Josh from the Garden State, like the one with all the viewers online." And I was like, "Yeah,
yep."
And it was just a weird moment because I didn't know if she was like,
it was interesting.
I thought she was gonna be like, "You don't know what the state dog is." That's what I thought she was going with it, but she didn't.
Hey, now for future conversations, you could tell people, hey, did you know that the official dog in New Jersey is a seeing eye?
Do you know who her state luminary is, Jimmy?
No.
Bruce Springsteen.
I thought
How did he become the luminary?
I don't know. What were we gonna say, Jimmy?
I thought that she was a protester.
Oh, really?
She had signs. I was like, oh no, what did we do?
So a luminary is a person who inspires or influences others, especially one prominent in a public sphere. So
that shouldn't be Bruce.
Bruce is our luminary.
What do you think, Bon Jovi it should be?
Who made Bruce? Who put Bruce in that place?
Bruce.
Because he's like the most famous New Jersey artist ever.
Yeah, just because you're famous doesn't make you a luminary.
What about Sinatra?
He's dead though.
That's true.
Wait, they got to be living?
Probably.
Okay,
I'm more inspired and encouraged by Sinatra.
What about...
But he's dead.
It's fine. He doesn't have to be alive for me to be inspired by him.
What about Joe Pesci?
Yeah, Joe Pesci's a good one.
Joe Pesci's alive and kicking
I think if someone's going to embody Jersey, Pesci does it better than Springsteen. You look at Pesci, he's just Jersey.
Yeah, dude.
He is like the walking... If you said, you know how people do AI? They're like, make me a human form of the state of... Have you seen those?
Yeah.
And AI makes like a human version of a state. So like if California was a human and then it just takes all the stereotypes of California. If you did a human version of New Jersey, it's Joe Pesci. Let's just be real. But Bruce, nonetheless, cool guy. Yeah. So that's it for this week. Jimmy, any closing thoughts for the listeners?
It feels so weird this week. It felt like yesterday was Monday, but it was Tuesday. Today feels like Thursday, but it's Wednesday. I don't know what day it is anymore.
Jimmy, that's profound.
Yeah, thank you.
And
Really
Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
And it's Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everyone.
We're going to get a snowy winter. It's going to be beautiful. I cannot wait.
What are you guys excited for? Yeah, for the close of the summer. What are you guys looking forward to in the next few months?
Oh, I'm looking forward to the leaves changing. I would love to make a trip up to Adirondacks.
You know, I just saw a map, Jimmy. They said for Adirondacks, peak foliage is like beginning of October.
Yeah, it's like the first weekend in October.
And
We've all
miss
known
it
this
every year.
We've all known this.
When is peak foliage for North Jersey, Jimmy? Give it to us.
Probably towards the end of October.
How about South Jersey?
Or end of October.
Cool. So same time?
Yeah.
Because North is usually first and South.
So it's confusing, right? Because South Jersey, you got all your maples and your gums, and they change. Like your swamps change first, and then you have a lot of pine, and they don't ever change. So I don't know.
We'll have to go see it.
I love it.
And a few closing thoughts.
Yeah.
From the show.
Yeah.
Whoa,
did you just self-intro yourself?
I thought you were leading up for Sobo so good.
My boy just had his own intro. You're going to jail this week, bro, for that one.
Tell him to bring out my putter.
I'm gonna soundbite that actually, so it's like to end every episode, it's gonna be like a few closing thoughts from the show.
Okay, I like that.
Put some R&B. I just want to remind the listeners, click that link in the bio or the description of this podcast. Fill out that questionnaire. It's like 10 simple questions. Go check out our merch store, buy some merch, check out Vintage City. We got a lot going on. And it's just, I'm happy to be out here. I'm happy to be from Jersey. That's all I got to say.
I love that, man. And with that, that's our closing remarks. I want to do an opening monologue, like a lot of late night hosts and newscasters.
Okay.
I want to start the podcast with an opening monologue.
So after you say, you're listening to the Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the good news you hear this week. I can't even say
Trouble in Atlantic City? Some say Phil Murphy has, and I'll go off on this long tangent.
Now you sound like News 12 or like a news site.
That's a compliment. Shout out to Lauren Dew.
Lauren Dew.
And with that, that's the end of the podcast. Let's end it.
Yeah, well, let's just shut the door.
Let's shut it.
Let's go play with our seeing eye dog.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.